break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got a problem with hope. What's up, y'all all fed up cause I got a little cheddar and my record's moving out the store? Young spitting at me, young rappers getting at me. My big predicted it exactly. More money, more problems, gotta move carefully. Cause hate when you getting money like athletes. Youngins ice grilling me, oh, you not feeling me? Fine, it costs you nothing, pay me no mind. Look, I'm on my grind, cousin, ain't got time for frontin'. Sensitive, y'all all need hugs. Little mans, I'm just trying to do me. If the record's 2 mil, I'm just trying to move 3. Get a couple chicks, get them to try to do. Hopefully they're before I reach my garage. I don't want much, I drove every car. Some nice cooked food, some nice clean drawers. Bird, I don't mean to ruffle y'all. I know you waiting in the wing, but I'm doing my thing. Where's the love? I said, where's the...
It's the 2K Sports pregame show, sponsored by Kia.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to 2K Sports. We're already getting the feel for this new.
Somebody got something to say. What's all fussing for? Because I'm grubbing more.
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Glad you're here with us tonight for this Monday night presentation. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Brent Barry and Greg Anthony. We've got David Aldridge reporting from the sideline. For the Miami Heat, they coming off a loss to the Jazz.
And in that game, guys, their three-point shooting really was their own worst enemy. Even when they got the open looks, they just had an inability to knock them down.
The three-point shot, an essential weapon for every team to have. It can't completely disappear as it did tonight.
And so the tip-off, it's Miami. So the opening lineup for the Heat, a lot of length up front with Bosh and Whiteside in the middle. Dion Waiters is out there with Dragic, and it's Winslow in at the 3, the small forward. And Brent, two teams here who are very proud of their defense.
This is where you look at the coaches, Kevin, and you have to commend the fact that he's been able to convince all of the guys on his roster, not just the starting 5, that however they're going to impact the game is going to start on the defensive end. Oh, and by the way, that's where your playing time is going to come from.
And that can get in the head of a scorer, can it?
That absolutely can, and if you can set the pace defensively, the offensive team knows it's in for a long night.
Here's Waiters, following the basket by LaMarcus Aldridge, and stolen by Aldridge. Stolen by Waiters. Rebound, San Antonio. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
And that result was no surprise because they played very loosely with the basketball.
Well, maybe they could have got away with it if they had created some turnovers with their own defense, but they played in that game wasn't nearly tough enough.
Now here's Mills, following the miss by Hassan Whiteside. And it's Leonard missing. Bosh up on top. Shot from free throw range. Goes back up. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the throw line.
Enjoy Winslow getting in there to mix it up with the big boys and come away with the rebound.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
You know, this is not an area where they expect him to contribute. You know, he's a guy that shot below 70% last season.
I think GMs basically were salivating over the fact that Winslow was going to come into this league and be an impact defender. He's got great hands and great feet to stick with who it is that he's defending, and that wingspan certainly disrupts passing lanes.
Now here's Leonard. 23 points for him the last game against Houston.
And really last time what I liked best is he used his body extremely well on the offensive glass. It seemed like the defense wanted no part of him when he got underneath.
Now here's Dragic. following the miss by LaMarcus Aldridge. Takes the three, and Goran Dragic hits from deep. Dragic has got himself on the board with 3 there. And with Winslow in his defense, as you were saying, Brent, it isn't all that physical. He has a great mindset for being a stopper on the defensive end.
Well, maybe he's taken a page out of a fellow Dookie in Shane Battier, because playing defense at this level is about doing your research and game planning. Shane, one of the best, and Winslow has those kind of instincts.
Here's Bosch. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Chalk up 2 there. Bosch has got his second bucket tonight.
And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
Gasol screen. Now the feed to Aldridge. Pass to Mills from the arc. And it's tied with the rebound.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Winslow with it. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Count that bucket.
Great self-confidence from Winslow on that play, taking it up strong inside.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
So yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
And Leonard gets it to go.
And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
Good chance you're getting to phase 2 of your defense here as you make adjustments to try and cool him down.
Now here's Dragic. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. At the elbow, it's Simmons. Back to Mills. Gasol, a screen on Dragic. Dishes it to Gasol. Just 5 to shoot. Leonard kicks to Aldridge. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Aldridge has got his second basket.
And don't look now. If there's anything Leonard could improve upon, it's getting his teammates more involved. Exhibit A, that assist.
Here's Whiteside. Count that bucket.
So this is as good as it gets for a first quarter in terms of shooting the basketball.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. One thing that Coach Spoelstra doesn't get enough credit for is his attention on the defensive end, Brent. Rarely do you see a team he is in charge of struggle on that side of the ball.
I think Spo has so many different ways that he can deploy his defense and gets very creative with the way he uses his active big guys out on screen and rolls. A great defensive mind in the game.
And did not seem happy about how things are going on right now, and maybe wants to make some changes.
There might also be an opportunity here that he can exploit a mismatch. We'll see.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. And a new group in for the Heat. James Johnson's checked in for Bosch. Luke Babbitt comes in for Justice Winslow. Josh Richardson's checked in for Waiters. And it's Tyler Johnson in for Goran Dragic. Now here's Ginobili. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play. Well, not too many current or former NBA players can say this, but you can, Brent. You've been in a movie. How was it getting involved in the Jerry Maguire movie? And do you have any more plans to be on the big screen?
I have more plans to go to movies, Kevin, than to be in the movies. Somehow, some way, I got a phone call from somebody that said, we need you to come down here. And I know the backstory to it. Cameron Crowe is from Seattle. I met Cameron Crowe several times. And he said, Brent, I got a part for a basketball player. How about a movie? I said, cool. Then he said, how about a movie with Tom Cruise? I said, even better. And then he said, how about a movie about a sports agent with Tom Cruise and you'll be in the scene with him? And I said, what time?
How many lines did you have in that movie?
Oh, I nailed it. One line, Kevin. One line, one take, Jake. And there was a kid there that was in the same scene. It was about signing some basketball cards. And the little boy was suffering from a cold that day. And Tom Cruise could not have been nicer. In fact, gave the kid some Kleenex.
That's a great story. Parker's shot is off.
This team is counting on him to knock down looks like that. It has to mess with your confidence a little bit.
Here's Johnson. Richardson kicks to Johnson. Stolen by Anderson. Inside. Here's Green. And that misses. That would have put him up.
He's certainly a threat to finish those opportunities with some style and flair, but the defense did a simply outstanding job preventing that from happening.
Now here's Johnson. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
Well, even the dentist would tell you that's a sweet move for that lay-in. And yeah, you got to love his tenacity.
And the foul on Tyler Johnson. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line.
And not the guy you want to send to the line. He has been automatic.
The Spurs have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2. And that one falls for Parker.
And Parker has such speed and creativity, just causes the defense fits in terms of how to properly guard it.
And Tony Parker drops them both. Passes it to Babbitt for 3. Here's Whiteside. Good D by Lee. Tie game and some big points being put up on the board. Clark, as we wrap up the first. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And a chance to hear from Tony Parker, who said he lives for the challenge of continuing to improve.
I always try to improve and get better, and Pop always challenged me. He came to me and he said, you know, good players.
And in Tony Parker's case, great is what he wanted to be and has been for a long time.
You know, that's great because that shows Pops and why he's one of the best in the game. You got to be able to drive and motivate and also give the confidence. And that's what's happened with Tony Parker. Remember when he first came on the scene, it was not a cakewalk for him. He had his struggles, and now we're talking about a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Spurs?
I just think that from an intensity standpoint, their defense has really been the key. It's been the catalyst as they've been able to disrupt their opponent's offense.
Relentless ball pressure, jumping into the passing lanes. They're just forcing them into ridiculous mistakes.
On the floor for Miami, we've got Luke Babbitt. James Johnson is out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's Wayne Ellington. And it's Dragic in at the point guard. The Heat making a switch here. Winslow's checked in. San Antonio trailing here.
Greg Popovich of the Spurs, a 3-time Coach of the Year. Could have been many more times. And you can count the rings. No question, when it's all said and done, he'll be in the Hall of Fame and in the pantheon of legendary coaches.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Here's Bosh. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. When you think about Popovich retiring, he said he didn't think he'd finish out the entirety of his 5-year contract, which runs through 2019.
Yeah, we'll find out. I know Pop has always told the story that when Tim Duncan finishes his playing career, that Pop would finish his as well, because he doesn't want to suffer the consequences of not coaching Tim Duncan. But the Spurs have done a great job of restocking their team with LaMarcus Aldridge and the evolution of Kawhi Leonard. And maybe the old fellow will stick around a little bit more.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he's checked in for the Spurs. Leonard with the ball. Now guarded by Winslow. Leonard dishes to Aldridge. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Winslow, the pass to Bosh. Lee with the steal. There's the call on James Johnson. That is his first foul of the game. Pau Gasol is checked in for the Spurs. Simmons comes in for Manu Ginobili. And Miami also making a switch. Waiters is checked in. Aldridge is screen. Nobody near Leonard. Great positioning on the putback. And the Spurs lead by 1.
High-level offensive rebounder. Aldridge has the wingspan and timing to get to those.
Kicks it to Ellington. He feeds it to Bosh. From 11 feet away, that one good for 2. Bosh has got 7 points.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Parker kicks to Aldridge. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Leonard. Drains the three-pointer. He's got 7.
And yeah, I get it. The goal defensively is to keep Kawhi from getting looks inside, but hey, you try that. Well, the Spurs have 3 future Hall of Famers. There's no doubt about it. And even with the acquisition of LaMarcus Aldridge, there's no question who is the Spurs' best player. It is Kawhi Leonard. Quietly, he's made that leap into superstar status. Although, don't ask him about it because he won't tell you anything.
That one rolling around and rims out.
Well, he makes the big bucks because he's expected to knock those shots down. The D was there, but that's no excuse. He has to hit those shots.
And Brett, you asked some people around the league. Kawhi Leonard has now thrust himself into the conversation for the league's best player.
That's pretty amazing. A Finals MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year before he ever made the All-Star game. Sometimes the fan recognition comes a lot slower when you're down there in the heart of Texas in San Antonio, but the numbers don't lie. His impact goes way beyond the box score.
And you look back, the Spurs, one of the very first teams to really scout the globe and Brent bring in international players.
Well, it's also interesting, Kevin, that the trend continues. Even last year in the 2016 draft, in the first round, we saw a lot of international players being snatched up as building blocks for their franchises moving forward. But the Spurs always have been successful at finding some hidden gems, and their general manager deserves a lot of credit for it.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Tony Parker is in his 16th season in the NBA, and he says, if I'm healthy, hopefully I can play 20 seasons, and then I'll be ready to retire. My time will come soon, but I want to enjoy my last years in the NBA. Kevin, he said he obviously wants to finish his career as a Spur.
Thanks to you, that's so rare in any sport nowadays to spend your whole career with one team.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. And where have the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Heat.
And not a lot of attempts from beyond the break. Those deeper three-pointers can be a little outside of some players' range, but they've got guys who can make that shot. I think that's just an outlier so far.
Now here's Mills. He's guarded by Johnson. Raiders against Green. Back to Gasol. And it's sent back by Bosh.
Get that weak stuff out of here. Awesome swat by Chris Bosh.
Count it. And it's 7 points for Justice Winslow.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
We've got 1:28 left to play here in the second quarter. Good-looking screen by Gasol. Simmons dishes to Aldridge. That's good. Basket number 5 on a 5-for-8 night shooting.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Johnson kicks to Winslow. That one, no good. And the Spurs going the other way now. After this one, they're off to Sacramento to take on the Kings. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Gasol passes to Mills. Looking for Aldridge, he gets it there. Stolen by Winslow. Lets it go from 11. LaMarcus Aldridge grabs the miss. Aldridge has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Well, he's seen it before where he can light it up with the best in the league, but right now, he just does not have the touch.
Here's Magruder. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And that one's good by Bosh. And the Heat lead by 1.
As soon as Bosh gets the ball inside, he takes it right at the defense. They really have no answer when he's that close to the basket.
Now here's Mills. He's guarded closely. The dish now to Aldridge. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Well, he could not have been any more wide open, guys. Wow, I bet he nails that shot next time he gets a clean look.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Heat lead by 1. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Greg Popovich. Pop, what do you think was the main issue during the first half?
We didn't make shots.
Thank you for that insightful analysis, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. A tremendous game we're seeing from Chris Bosh. He had 12 points and 1 block. Coming off a great game last time out, he's turning it up a notch already here tonight. Kenny, let's start with you. What'd you think about the Heat?
So far, I love their commitment on the glass. Even when they were playing well, their rebounding remained a priority. And so far, the other side hasn't matched their efforts.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
They played some solid team basketball, Arnie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And that'll do it, as the second half is just about ready to begin. Back to Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game. Hey, watch yourself.
Celebrate. We're the best.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. You look at Chris Bosh in this game, I mean, he's been everywhere.
And his play in that first half, how about the discipline to go along with the efficiency, guys? His shot selection was just perfect.
Might also look at the coach and his game plan in terms of trying to find those good looks. They'll be looking to do the same here down the stretch.
Well, you look at the Spurs, the Warriors, the Atlanta Hawks. These are offenses that teams want to be like.
Well, anytime that you move the basketball quickly and crisply, Kevin, you're going to move the defenses around. And as soon as those shifts happen, that's where great offenses take advantage of poor positional defense.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the court right now for the Spurs, Leonard and Aldridge, the 2 stars at the 3 and the 4. Mills out there with Simmons. And it's Gasol and at the 5 down low. Here's Dragic after the basket by San Antonio. Here's Whiteside. Not going to go that time. Good work defensively by Gasol. And here's Leonard from 3. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. It's time now to look at the NBA's toughest defensive teams from a season ago. Number 1, the Spurs. The Heat in 5th.
Yeah, if you want to see how hard these two teams play, just take a look at the points allowed a year ago. I mean, that is impressive.
And here is Waiters. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Whiteside, good. And the Heat lead by 1.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
And Gasol gets it to go.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Here's Waiters after Pau Gasol's bucket. Bosh inside. Aldridge is covering. Bosh, that's good. Bosh has got 14.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
Leonard against Winslow. Tries it from 9. And the shot is good. Bumping in off the front of the rim. He's got 9.
That's 3 of 4 here to start the half.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And you ask, As Greg Popovich's coach, he says he's never coached a player who improved as rapidly as Kawhi Leonard.
And that's saying a lot. Remember, Tim Duncan won the Finals MVP in his second season playing alongside David Robinson. But by all accounts, Kawhi is just a tireless worker. You know, while he was at San Diego State, Kevin, he brought 2 lamps from home to the gymnasium because they wouldn't turn on the lights early enough for him to get his workouts in. Now, that's what I call a gym rat.
So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. David Lee checked in for Gasol. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Simmons, and Tony Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. The Heat also changing it up. James Johnson's checked in for Bosh. Luke Babbitt comes in for Winslow, and Josh Richardson subbed in for Dion Waiters.
The lead changes hands once more. There has been no separation between these two teams.
Tonight they are here to compete. This is what the fans paid their money to see.
And stolen by Whiteside. Here's Babbitt. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Dragic gets the bucket.
Yeah, they've only missed 1 out of their first 5 shots here in the second half, guys. Their offense really moving well, ball snapping, and the shooting looks to be in great rhythm.
Now here's Anderson. He has 5. Headshot off. Good D by Johnson. And they have certainly been looking locked in offensively.
They sure have, staying aggressive and playing under control.
Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Johnson can't hit.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
All instinctual because he knows where he needs to go and then force the opponent to do something about it.
Parker with a clean look, but they get it back. And it's Whiteside with the rebound. The Heat leading by 4. Outside Dragic. Outside a screen. Johnson. Over Anderson. Whiteside, good. Whiteside's got 4 points this quarter.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Parker outside. He kicks it to Lee. And here's Leonard from 3. And another make to his scoring column. His 5th basket of the game. Now shooting 5 of 11.
It's one of those insane nights for Leonard, putting on a one-man show offensively.
Dragic kicks to Richardson. Johnson dishes to Richardson. That's good, and Johnson with the assist. Richardson's got his first basket of the night.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Now here's Parker. 5 points in the game. 13 feet away. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Parker's got 7 points in the game.
And Parker just super efficient at shooting from inside the paint with shots like that one.
Dragic's the pass to Whiteside. Richardson dishes to Johnson. Feeds to Whiteside. Babbitt kicks to Whiteside. Pass to Richardson. At the elbow, it's Whiteside. Second shot opportunity. Richardson, no luck. Spurs trail by 3. Leonard, the pass to Parker. Back to Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Yeah, and that's what you want from your point guard. Parker distributing the ball wonderfully on that possession.
Now a timeout called by Miami.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now. Looking at some different sets because of the matchup.
Also a good decision from the coach to settle your guys down, get into something new, and everybody on the same page.
Marcus Aldridge is checked in for San Antonio. Green comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, guys, we all know about the championships that the Spurs have won, but it's their culture that is admired around the league. Coach Popovich said, "I've been fortunate with the guys I've had come through here. My job is pretty easy when people have that character. You don't have to convince them to get over themselves or to feel responsible to each other. It makes it easier to have a team that enjoys playing together." Evan?
All right, DA, thanks. Being modest certainly is Coach Pop. He chose the players who fit, certainly. Here's Parker. Msaa Whiteside made his last pass. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
And they've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. +4 right now in turnover differential.
A different look now for San Antonio. Jonathan Simmons comes in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Parker. Here's Johnson, and it's sent back by Aldridge.
There's that length and anticipation. Hard to get the ball over Aldridge in that scenario.
Mills dishes to Aldridge. Can't cash in on the 10-foot jumper. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Miami ahead, leading by just 1. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the 4th quarter. And now a sneak peek into the huddle with Greg Popovich.
We can't forget about the boards. If we don't go to bodies, they're going to be at the rim all.
And pretty unsurprising there, Greg Popovich reminding his guys to block out, play fundamental basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you work so hard at everything else, and you have to finish the defense. It would be a crime to give up those extra possessions.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. 4th quarter should be good. On the court for the Heat, a lot of length up front with Bosh and Whiteside in the middle. Wayne Ellington is out there with Johnson, and it's Waiters in at the 3 spot.
Well, the D presents a pretty good challenge, but Whiteside ultimately proves to be too powerful inside from there.
Here's Mills, the pass to Lee, stolen by Bosh. Now here's Ellington, D right on him, no good with the layup. Spurs trail by 3. Green kicks to Simmons. Outside Gasol. And Green now, top of the key. Gasol passes to Simmons. And the wide open shot from Green. Buries it from 3-point range. Green's got the game tied up here for the Spurs. And Waiters kicks to Ellington. Bosh dishes to Whiteside. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
And what a turnaround from the first half. I mean, he's been incredible here in the second half.
Leonard, he's checked in for San Antonio. Justice Winslow, he's checked in for Miami. Dragic comes in for Tyler Johnson. And that one misses.
Nice stroke from the line by Whiteside. You know, he's only going to get better from there with some practice.
The Heat have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the 4th quarter started. Dragic kicks to Winslow. Bosh in the post. He's against Lee. Count it. Good. And the Heat lead by 4.
Wow, the fans are really getting their money's worth tonight. What an entertaining ball game.
No arguing tonight just how competitive these guys are. Everyone wanting this win badly, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Confident and composed on the 3-point shot at a critical juncture.
There's the feed to Winslow. Here's Whiteside. Good, and it's Bosh picking up the assist. 14 points for Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, maybe the shot selection in the first half took him out of a rhythm, but in the second half, he's making everything.
Lee kicks to Mills. To the inside. Yep, it goes in, and the Miami lead is cut down to 1 on the bucket from Gasol.
Well, there's a couple things that Patty is working on to be a better player in this league, and finding the open man is one of them.
Good ball movement here by Miami. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
No good on the free throw. A different look now for San Antonio. LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for Lee, and Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. And he sinks the second.
Well, I mean, a semi-productive trip to the free throw line, but we'll see whether or not it costs them.
Parker outside. He dishes it to Leonard. Gasol wide open. He fires, and no good. Had a chance to take the lead. Here's Whiteside. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Whiteside's got 14 points now in the second half.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Tips it up, and it's Aldridge on the follow.
Exceptional shot-making ability there, especially considering the stakes. Aldridge stepping up.
Rockets the pass to Whiteside. From 15 feet away. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. 6 to shoot. Back to Dragic. And there's the call on Bosch. That's his first foul. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Pass to Leonard. Dishes to Aldridge. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
So many tricks up his sleeve. Aldridge is one of those highly skilled vets who knows how to get to the free throw line.
Your Spurs on Marcus Aldridge. 2 shots.
Makes it, and the next one could tie it up. That one drops. He ties it up.
And really just a great rhythm at the line, whether it's a big lead in the first quarter or with the game hanging in the balance.
Now, here's Whiteside. Inside, Dragic. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
Dragic doesn't get to the free throw line all that often. When he does, he's usually pretty good.
Passes it to Leonard. He feeds it to Gasol. And stolen by Whiteside. And it's the Heat on the break. Here's Bosch. That one doesn't go. Some solid defense from Aldridge. Simmons dishes to Gasol. Leonard on the wing. Looking for Gasol. He gets it there. And Gasol with the dunk.
And Gasol is someone you turn to in these situations. Need a big basket, he's ready to go.
Whiteside, good.
And it's nice to see Whiteside stepping up in a big way with buckets like that.
And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Winslow against Leonard. And yet that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
Boy, a very hard foul that time, and the officials had to slap him with the flagrant. I mean, you can't let him get away with that kind of contact.
Yeah, gee, that's an easy call for the officials to make when there's that much contact. The league is really cracking down on those sort of plays. And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall.
And Gasol is a guy who can do a multitude of things well. I mean, he scores it, rebounds it, passes it, just an all-around talent.
He's able to hit the second one, and that brings them within 2 here.
Only down 2 now, but that miss might come back to haunt you. If they don't get a stop, it's back to a 2-possession game.
Off the inbound. We've got 1:18 left here in the fourth quarter. Heat have gone 7 of 10 shooting the ball since the start of the fourth quarter. Dragic against Parker. Back to Dragic. Kicks it to Whiteside. Shot clock at 6. Down low, Waiters. Msaa with the rebound. San Antonio's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Simmons passes through Leonard. Over in the corner, Gasol. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Now Winslow. Right side kicks to Winslow. Shoots from 12. And no good.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
And I know gravity's out there, but not everything is going to fall, even when you set it up perfectly.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Buries it. And tie game. That is a huge basket right there.
Oh, that's the shot of the game.
You want to talk about clutch.
And Waiters kicks to Bosh. Got it!
When the games get close like this and you need somebody to step up, Chris Bosh doing it on that possession.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're down by 2. 7 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Seven seconds left in the fourth quarter. Leonard, that's for 2. And so the big win by Miami in a tight game. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure was at its highest.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Chris, a good win tonight. First game of a back-to-back. How do you turn things around and get ready to play tomorrow?
Well, I mean, we're here. We're here at another tough part in the schedule. You know, we have a very tough challenge tomorrow, especially with a back-to-back. So